Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Rob and I talk about high-end collectible comics and comics art. Subscribe if that's your kind of thing. I love to talk about comics and I post 1 or 2 videos a week doing just that. This video, I'm going to quickly recap the recent ComicConnect Event Auction number 62. This auction ended the first week of June and I'm going to go over a few lots I covered in the preview as well as a couple of lots I'd previously missed. Tales of Suspense, number 39, CGC 9.4. As I said in the preview, the high for this book in this grade is $147,000 from 2011. The last 9.4 sold for $99,000 in 2020. The high for a 9.2 is $226,000 from December of 2022, which is a bubble result, obviously, crazy result. So I thought, with the $99,000 in 2020. Okay, fine, but then we had a $226,000 result for a 9.2, and the last few 9.2s after that one sold for around $100,000. So you extrapolate, I was hoping that this book would at least get to kind of $200,000, maybe tickle that $226,000 result. It did not. At $144,900, this book didn't even beat the high for this book in the grade from 2011. So it fell short of $147,500. And yeah, it didn't tickle $200,000. So, can we blame the Marvel Cinematic Universe for turning Iron Man, Tony Stark into Doctor Doom or whatever the hell they did? Sure. I'm actually not sure what happened there. I didn't see that movie and I just have been kind of avoiding things for a while. So, which, gives you an indication of how far out of the loop I am. I don't even know what the plot of that movie was. But it didn't seem like it went over. So maybe that's hurting this book. I don't know. Maybe there was a run on this book. I know there was a run on this book for a while. It did really well. So maybe we're kind of in a hangover period for Tales of Suspense 39. I don't know. It was not a good result for this book. I mean, I know some of those are bubble results. That 9.2 is a bubble result, but still, thought this was a bummer. Avengers 83 cover, John Buscema. $108,355.30 for this cool cover. I don't have much more to say than that about it, but it's very cool. So I'm happy it broke $100,000. It's one of the top lots in the auction. Also, one of the top lots in the auction is this Amazing Fantasy 15 CGC 9.6, restored, trimmed on 3 sides, by the way. In the preview, I asked, what's a restored CGC 9.6 Amazing Fantasy 15 worth? I'm honestly kind of shocked at how much it went for. $92,000 is a lot of money. Then I think, well, it's 1/36th the price of an unrestored copy. But then I think, well, it's still $92,000. It's probably not nuts, but I just feel like it is. So, yeah. I mean, it's not always like complete logic when I'm looking at these things. And I just look at a book that's trimmed on 3 sides and I say, is it really worth nearly $100,000? Actually, probably. It's signed by Stan Lee. I don't know. More Fun Comics number 55, CGC 9.2. First Doctor Fate, third highest graded copy behind the 9.6 Edgar Church and 9.4 Nova Scotia copy. As I mentioned, the Church copy last sold for $264,000 in 2023. So, with that in mind, this is a really good result. Working backwards from the Church copy, you would expect this book to sell for something like $50,000 to $65,000. So, I feel like $81,000 is pretty strong. Nice result and cool book. House of Mystery number 1, CGC 3.0. I offered up a low grade book. I'm going to start doing more of that. Fun ones that I see. I just have to get to them, which is some of these catalogs are so big. It takes a while to get to the bottom of the list. But I spotted this one, shared it. It's one of the cheapest books I've shared, but it's still fun. I love this crazy cover, which I'd never really looked at. And it sold for more than I estimated. I said it was around a $500 book, and it tickled $600. So it's a win-win. $584.20. Here's a book I didn't mention. Here's a Church copy of Rocket Comics number 3, CGC 9.4. This is the most valuable copy of this book by such a huge margin. It's kind of funny. Low grade copies sell for like $2,000. So it's actually got some pent up demand. So that's why it sold for $27,606.90. But yeah, this is 10 times the next best result, or at least. By the way, it's the best copy by far. The next highest graded is CGC 5.5. And as I was doing this, I realized that this book isn't in the original Mile High catalog. Number 1 and number 2 are, so the Hillman copy is a Rocket Comics number 1 and number 2, but the number 3 is not listed in the catalog, which is surprising to me. Our Army at War 83, CGC Fine 6.5. This is the first copy of this book, the first Sergeant Rock, that I've mentioned on the channel. I wish I'd mentioned it before because it's such a cool book and, it deserves some love. And this is one of those things, kind of like the Platinum Age and pre-hero stuff that I've been doing on the podcast. It's something, war comics are something I need to learn about. So this is definitely not a book or a genre I'm an expert on, but it's still fun to point this book out and share it. And this is a tough book. The highest graded copy is a CGC 9.0, and then the next best copy is an 8.0. And even in 6.5, this book rarely sells. A copy sold in 2023, and then the previous one was in 2013, which is crazy. This is a big key. Gil Kane, Green Lantern, 59, very first appearance of Guy Gardner in the story. Sold for $18,400. It's a bargain. I mean, if you're a Guy Gardner fan, you can't get better than this. Well, you could get the cover, but this is pretty good. And yeah, I mean, gotta love it. Gil Kane is amazing. His covers are great, but he's a great interior artist as well. So love this one. I featured this George Tuska splash with inks by the creator of Submariner, Bill Everett. It got $6,555. Kevin McGuire, Justice League International, number 7 interior page featuring like the whole JLI. To be fair, I am doing my best to not buy a bunch of stuff right now. I mean, honestly, I'm actually putting together a consignment of signed first edition books for Heritage right now. So I'm still in kind of the selling and not buying mode. That's not written in stone, but I mean, that's where I'm at right now. And then I look at something like this, which is like, I don't think is that much money for a page that features Batman from the prime of this incredible run by a great artist. It's got everybody in it. Yeah, it's not an action page, but it's got a really dramatic image of Batman in that second panel and the whole team basically spread throughout. I don't know. I mean, really, doing this channel does not help me not buy things. Let's be honest. But, then I see something like this and it really doesn't help. So I'm just saying I'm not breaking the bank yet. I'm still just like kind of talking about it, sharing some stuff, and I'll actually share that consignment I have with Heritage when I get it up and out the door. But yeah, just saying. Sometimes it's tempting. Barry Windsor Smith, Wildstorm Rising #1 interior page. Again, if I was still collecting Wildstorm CGC books, of which I had like one of the best collections out there, and I had a very large collection of Wildstorm original art, including a lot of pages by Tom Rainey from his original run on Stormwatch. This page would be high on my list, right? Because I talked about how much Windsor Smith like kind of meant to that era of comics and Wildstorm in general and the style and Jim Lee and all that kind of stuff. And to have him come back and work on a Wildstorm book was crazy. And the work is absolutely amazing. So I would have been all over this one because, again, $2,100 for Barry Windsor Smith page with this much detail is pretty remarkable. But I'm holding out. I'm doing good, not buying. Someday I'm going to just like I'm going to like buy like 15 books at auction. I'm going to crack them open on the channel, doing a live stream. But for now, I'm just talking. And that'll do it. I told you this one was going to be pretty quick. I didn't cover many lots in this auction. I actually could have gone for some more, but you know how it is. And I was busy at that period. There were a lot of auctions starting and ending and all kinds of stuff. So this is the best I could do, but it was still fun. It's fun to look at some of the stuff they sold. Couple of not great results, couple of really good results, and yeah. So if you made it this far, thanks. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. I am going to follow up with coverage of the Heritage Signature Auction, which is closing this week, which is going to have some amazing stuff. And then following that, I've got a few surprises for you on the horizon. I'm also going to follow up with a new podcast episode looking at pre-hero comic books. So I have another kind of 10 or 15 to look at there. So if you haven't yet, please check out the podcast. It's here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. It's called Edgar Church's Basement. Check it out. Yeah, and that'll do for now. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye.